Hello, and thank you for joining Hot Stove Baseball Talk. I'm Stephen Douglas, and I'm joined with a special guest here this time. Yeah, still baseball we're talking about, but going down into the high school ranks. I'm joined by the MVP of the West Valley League in Southern California. It's Gavin Taylor. Gavin, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, congratulations on your well-deserved award, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I mean, talk about it a little bit. I mean, obviously, the culmination of your high school career, MVP of the league,
hmm
a pretty consistent high school career, I'd say. Kind of reflect on your years playing ball in high school.
Yeah, coming into high school as a freshman, I wasn't the biggest guy, strongest guy. I was maybe pushing 120 pounds soaking wet. And then once that COVID hit, I decided to really dedicate myself to just getting better all around and overall became a pretty solid baseball player. Once high school season came around, I started to really put it together and found what worked for me, made a couple adjustments in my swing throughout the my sophomore year. And then once I kind of found my groove, I stuck with it the last couple of years, making slight adjustments here and there, but it's been pretty consistent with me, especially the my work ethic and the work I put in off the field.
I mean, it feels nice to find a swing that works after making some
Mhm.
changes and kind of sticking with something. Talk about finding that swing. How'd you get to that point? Who helped you with that?
Yeah, so it started me and my mom during COVID. We had a lot of time on our hands and we'd watch YouTube videos and try out different things we'd see, and then we tried out this one thing kind of staying more on my backside, and then we'd work on that every day, and also working with Jeremy Rodriguez. We'd try and go to him just once a week to get live arm throwing batting practice, and just doing all that, it made me the hitter I am today.
Yeah, I remember back, and I think we followed each other on social media for a few years
Mhm.
now. And I
Yeah.
remember scrolling through one night, and there was a video of you hitting in the cages, and I was like, I know that throw. I know that throwing motion. That's Jeremy Rodriguez, a guy that
Yeah.
a lot of us know who are a part of this channel, and obviously in the Dodgers organization, head coach of the Great Lakes Loons at one point, and also the Ogden Raptors, Jeremy Rodriguez. I want to read a quote, and I'll put this on the screen as well, Gavin, but this is from your private coach, Jeremy Rodriguez. He says, he's a workhorse. His determination is what sets him apart. His willingness to be the best is something special that you don't see in high school kids. It's been an absolute thrill watching him grow up, not only into the baseball player he is now, but the young man he's become. Truly a pleasure. The words of Jeremy Rodriguez. How's that make you feel, Gavin?
I mean, it makes me feel great. I've known him for about 9 years now, and I first met him when he was playing in the minor leagues, and it's just kind of come all full circle for us.
Yeah, how awesome. How awesome. I mean, getting to work with Jeremy Rodriguez. Do you feel a little bit of extra pressure knowing that your coach, has coached Major League Baseball players? Is that something that you put in your back pocket and you're like, you know what? I better perform.
I don't see it as pressure. I see it as more of I can use him as more of a resource because he's been there. He's seen what it takes to get there, and he's helped guys get to that big league level. So I see it as a real a major factor in developing my skills.
Now, obviously, you talked about J Rod helping you out with the swing a little bit, and it started back with your mom and YouTube videos and just finding things that
Mhm.
work for you. But talk about the catching aspect. I know you've worked very hard on that
Mhm.
skill, and just talk about how you've refined that as well.
Yeah, catching it was always pretty natural to me. Reggie Smith, growing up around him, he told me a baseball player doesn't play just one position; they learn to play all positions. And then at some point, you're told you have to play this one position. And I've always been pretty natural at catcher. Just growing up, I always had a passion for it, a little crazy for it. But just same thing, watching YouTube videos with my mom, and then working with J Rod, asking questions, picking his brain whenever I had the chance to.
You just mentioned the name of a legend there, son.
Yeah, I've
I mean, how did you get hooked up with such a legend of Major League Baseball, Dodgers, Red
mm,
Sox, Cardinals specifically?
yeah. So I grew up playing at Encino Little League, and I was always just around the cages in the back of the Little League there, and Reggie at the time he would give hitting lessons there. So I would always just kind of go in the cage with my brothers, and we'd soft toss each other, and we'd sometimes just, if it was one of us and my brother had a game, I'd toss the ball to myself, hit it, go get it, and then hit it to the other side. So this Reggie's sitting there coaching, giving his hitting lessons. If he had some free time, he'd come over and give us little pointers here and there. And from there, we always kept in touch with him. And he's a real great guy, and I'm very grateful to have him, to have had him help me out when I was younger.
Hear your stories and your experience there with
Mhm.
Reggie. Love that he came over there. You're there hitting the ball by yourself in the cage. So Reggie's probably like, oh, I gotta go talk to this kid. He needs some help.
Yeah.
Now, just talk about, before I let you go, the draft coming up next month. I know you're a commit to BYU as far as going the next step in college, but your name could get drafted. Or your name could be called in the draft, excuse me. What's your excitement level for next month's draft?
I'm really excited. It's always been a thing I've wanted to be a part of, but either way, I'm really excited for what's up next.
Yeah, you've got exciting things on the horizon, my friend. No matter what goes on, if your name is called, or no matter when
Mhm.
it's called, or just what's going on, you've got your place with the Cougars, and I'm sure you're very excited for the prospects there. Gavin Taylor, I really appreciate the time, my friend. Once again, congratulations on being named the MVP of the West Valley League here in 2023 season. Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you for having me.